Hello all, welcome to the fourth chapter of Building a Web Application. In this session, we will apply some styles and web tables for formatting. So far, we have learnt about the basics of building a simple website, but the website did not have any formatting. In this session, we will understand how to do formatting in our website. If we look at our web page, the label, text box, and the button are all in the same line, and they don't have any formatting. To make it look better, let's try to add some styling to the web elements present in our web page. HTML offers multiple styling options for each web element. We can use them to format our web page elements and show them as per our needs. We can change the properties such as color, size, alignment, padding, etc. To understand this, let's try to change the label into red color. To set the color to red, we will add style attribute in the label element. Style attribute is applicable for most of the web elements. To set the font color of label to red, we will add the style attribute and set the color option to red. We can also specify the HTML color code by referring to the color code details available online. We can choose a color, get the color code from the websites, and use them in the style. Style attribute allows several properties which determine how the element should be displayed in the website and what should be its position. Next, we can set the font size to 15 pixels. We have set a color and size to our label. Let's check how it shows up in our web page. If we see the web page, the label is displayed in red color but it's small. Let's make the font size to 20 pixels. And we will check how it looks. Now if you see our web page, the font size is better. But the button is in the same line as the text box. It would look better if it is placed in next line. To move any element to next line, we can add BR tag, which is for line break in HTML. Now, if we check our web page, the button is moved to next line. We can achieve the same without using BR tag, but through styles. We can set the display property in style attribute to block, which will move the element to separate line. Display property allows multiple options such as block, none, inline, etc. Now, if you see the web page, the button is moved to next line without using BR tag. But the button is very close to the text box and it looks cluttered. We need to add some space before and after the button. We can increase the space around the button by using the margin property of style. We can set the top and bottom margin of the button to 15 pixels. If required, we can set the margin left and right properties also to define the necessary space around the web element. And now, we can see the button has enough space above and below the element, and we can increase the size of the button by setting the font size to 20 pixels. Let's go and check how it looks. Now that's even better to see in the web page. So, we have 3 web elements now with some formatting. Let's add one more web element, student age, with a label. Let's check the web page now. We can see student age is displayed in the same line of student name. So, we need to set the display property to block in each of the web element to position them in separate lines. Let's check the web page now. Now each element is shown in separate lines. Though it is working, is it the best way to set the styles? Because it is very redundant to copy-paste the same styling to all similar elements. The answer is CSS. CSS stands for Custom Style Sheet. And it is used to define the style once for all similar elements. We can add a style tag in the head section of the HTML. Inside this style tag, we can group the properties with a name. Let's say, my_label. And within parentheses, we can specify the properties, such as color and font size. Similar to how we give it inside the style attribute. We have just created a style, which can be applied to any web element. Now, for all the similar labels, where we want to apply these same properties, we can remove the existing style attribute. And we can add a class attribute, with value as my_label. We will do the same for other labels, where we want this style to applied. The web page is showing the same styles as applied. So, instead of duplicating the style properties for each web element, we are now defining the common properties in the style tag, with a name. Then, we are using that name in the class attribute for the web elements. Now, the browsers will automatically use the properties defined in the style tag and apply them on the web element. This is much easier to maintain as well, as we don't have to touch each element separately when we have to make some common changes. We can add multiple styles with different names in the style tag. Each style can have different properties. We can extend other existing styles as well. Now, if we change the class in student age label, we see the font color changed to blue. Same way, the class attribute also allows us to specify multiple styles. And when multiple styles are applied, all the properties of the specified styles will be applied on the element. These are the basic steps for applying styles to web elements. HTML offers several ways to manage styles. We can include style properties in the web element, or we can define them under the style tag in head section of HTML, or we can create a CSS file and put our style definitions in it. We have learned some basics of formatting with CSS. But the fields positioning can be done better because they are in same line. If we want to keep each field in separate line, we could use BR tags. We can add the BR tag where a line break is required. This inserted a line break between the elements. Also, we saw how we can use the display property in the style attribute to move the elements to a new line. This avoided the need for BR tags. But we can use HTML tables to achieve the same in a much better way. Now, let's learn how to format the same web page using HTML tables. To create a table in HTML, we will use table tag. HTML tables are used to represent data as columns and rows. Inside the table tag, we will have two sections. First one is T-head, which is for defining column headers, and the next is T-body, where we will define the rows. In HTML tables, rows are represented by TR tag. Hence, in T-head section, we can add a row for header using TR tag. Then, each column header will be added with TH tag under the header row. Inside the TH tag, we can specify the column header label. Let's say the first column is field name. We can add our next column with one more TH tag. Let's name it as field value. For adding records in the table, we will go to the T-body tag. Under T-body section, we will add TR tags for each row. And inside each TR tag, we will add TD tags for each cell in the row. Finally, inside TD tag, we will give the content for that cell. Let's enter first row cell 1. We can add the next cell for this row with another TD tag. We will enter first row cell 2 in this cell. Now, let's add few more rows with similar values in the cells. But we will change the cell content as second row. In HTML tables, each row can have different number of cells. HTML will automatically align the cells with headers. Next, we will add one more row into the table. But, we will keep only one cell in this row. Let's change the cell content to third row. Shall we see how it shows up in our web page? Let's refresh the browser. We added 2 columns and 3 rows in the HTML table, and we see them here. But the third row has single cell only. We can expand it to cover 2 columns using colspan attribute and set the number of columns it should cover. We have set the colspan as 2, so this cell should cover 2 columns now. So, let's do a quick recap of what we learned. Web tables are created with table tag, and there can be multiple tables in same web page. Under table tag, we will have 2 sections, T-head and T-body. Rows are represented by TR tags. Under the T-head section, we will add a row for heading with TR tag and the column headers with TH tag under that row. Under the T-body section, we will add the rows with TR tag, and each row will have cells with TD tag. Inside the TD tags, we will have contents of each cell. Similar to other web elements, tables also support multiple formatting options. For example, if I want to set a border in the table, I can add that. We will add the border attribute to table tag and set the value as 1. If we go to our web page and refresh it, we will see the borders added to the table cells. There are multiple border options available for HTML tables, which you can explore by further reading. Now, we will use this table layout and change the format of our web form. Our goal is to align the web elements without using BR tags or display property in style attribute. Now, let's move this table tag contents into the form tag and update the cell contents. Next, headers are optional in tables, and we can keep just the rows alone as well. For our web form, we don't need column headers. So, let's remove the T-head section. We don't need borders either. So, we will remove the border attribute too. This table has 2 columns, with first one for the label, and second for the input text box. Now, we are good to move the form fields into the table cells. First, we will move the student name label. Next, we will move the student name input text field. Now, we will move the student age label. And now we will move the student age input field. Finally, we will move the save button. Now, we are done with moving all the form fields into table cells. If we see the web page now, the fields are properly aligned in each row. We can make the save button wider to fill the complete width of the cell. For this, we will add a width property with value as 100%. Now, if we go to our web page and refresh it, the save button is wider. But the text is in dark color and we couldn't see it clearly. Hence, we will change the text color to white. We will add a color property in the style attribute with value as white. Let's go back to our web page and refresh it. Now the text color is lighter and we are able to read it clearly. Use the same steps. We can add any number of rows with fields to the form. If we want to hide any row based on some condition, we can simply add a hidden attribute to the respective row's TR tag. Let's go back to our web page and refresh it. The second row, where we had the student age, is hidden now. If we remove the hidden attribute from the TR tag, the row will show up again. You can achieve the same functionality by setting the display property to none in style attribute of the TR tag. Let's go back to our web page and refresh it. As we can see, the row is hidden again. Like this, we have many ways to control the web elements displayed in the web page. CSS offers lot of style properties, which we have used in building the library management application. Also, we have used Bootstrap, which is a very popular CSS framework which comes with lot of pre-built templates, web elements, and powerful styling options. We will learn about these in the next chapter and start building our home page. Thanks for watching. To continue learning with us, like, share, and subscribe to our channel.